Good afternoon, I'm here in the glass house. It's early June and I want to plant some tomatoes, cucumbers and peppers with you. It's not too late, could have been done much earlier, but they will certainly grow very quickly this time of the year with the warmer temperatures. And you could keep them in the conservatory or something similar in the night time and put them out in the daytime if you wish. Or if you've got a cold glass house, ideal. But really, let's face it, anybody can grow tomatoes. It's dead easy. Now you may want to start with a hanging basket of tomatoes. And I'm going to use a variety called Tumbling Tom Red. It doesn't grow that big. So there they are. Now the compost, I just used ordinary compost with some fertilizer in. Some slow release fertilizer, which is going to keep it going for 4 or 5 weeks at least. I'm going to put 3 plants in here. As I said, this is Tumbling Tom Red. Space the plants out in the basket. And of course you need no attention for these at all. You don't have to side shoot, you don't have to do anything. Just pick the fruit. And of course water. So there we are. It's as easy as that. So what is the best kind of compost? Well, you could use multi-purpose. You could use a multi-purpose with John Innes. The John Innes is soil based and will help retain the moisture and the nutrients a bit better. But multi-purpose compost is fine providing you're willing to water it most days. So there we are, that can be hung up. That's easy, wasn't it? Very convenient. So we can grow them in hanging baskets like that. Take very little room up. Or we can grow them in pots. And I've got a variety which is a very popular one called Gardener's Delight here. What does it say about it? High yields of cherry-sized fruits on long trusses. Excellent flavour, and that's why they're so popular, because it is an excellent flavour. Now, slight alteration with this. I don't want to use canes, so I tend to put a bit of twine underneath the root ball, put the root ball on top of it. Now, these are a bit leggy, so let's dig a bigger hole, and they can be, need 3 hands here, but it doesn't matter. They can be put much deeper in the pot. There we are. Much deeper than normal. You can plant them deeply and have no effect. So there we are, there's the string. I will now tie that to the wire or the top of the glass house, like so. And as the plant grows up it, you can just twist this round it as it grows. Nothing could be easier, and there's no messing about with canes. So the Tumbling Tom was a bushy variety which didn't need side shooting. Now this is a tall variety, a cordon type, which will grow to 5 or 6 foot. And as you see, it's already got 1 or 2 side shoots. Can you see that? So with all side shoots, they're in the axil of the leaf, and you just, as they grow, you just rub them out. This one hasn't grown yet, it's starting to grow, but so we'll have to do this side shooting about at least once a week. You don't want to let these side shoots grow. So there we are, that's our Gardener's Delight tomato. I'll put the label in so I know remember what it is. And that has got to be tied to the roof of the glass house or some other structure. To move on to cucumbers now. As you see, I've chosen a larger pot. It's very critical that they have enough water. And still I would recommend that these pots are put on a saucer, so that really you don't want the cucumber to dry out. Everybody complains, oh, my leaves have gone all white on my cucumber. And that is mildew caused by drying out of the roots. Everybody gets it eventually because none of us give enough water. I'm going to choose a slightly unusual variety. This is one called Hannah, which is a short one. about 5-6 inches long. You know, I've often thought, why the heck do we use cucumbers which are so big, and it's more than anybody wants. So this is an all-female variety. It doesn't need pollinating. Just plant it and pick the crop. Cucumber is a plant we get more complaints than anything about. They come back 3 or 4 days later, I've killed my cucumber already. And there's just 1 or 2 basic rules. First of all, you do not touch the stem. They're pretty delicate. Water, as you can see, this has been watered before planting. So again, I'm just going to dig a hole, not too deep this time, and I'm going to put a string at the bottom to secure it to the roof of the glasshouse, and I'm very carefully inverting it, putting it in the hole, and I'm just gently, hardly any firming at all. And that is it. What could be easier? How can you kill it? So, watering wise, you just give this 1 fairly light watering to settle it, and then no more water, shall we say, for 5 or 6 days, unless it starts to wilt and it's in the hot sunshine. And then you gradually step up the watering. In these leaves, this is one I planted about 10 days ago, and as you can see, the size of the leaf already, now it'll eventually, if you're growing them properly, they'll be 3 or 4 times this size. They'll be absolutely huge leaves. That's if you're feeding it and watering it properly. I'll just go on to this one quickly, which I did plant, because you'll notice that it is already producing little cucumbers and side shoots. I know it's hard, but you've got to take these off. You've got to let the plant produce a structure first before you take these. It'll delay your cropping by 10, 15, 20 days. So there's a string I put on this one. I can already, do the training around this. And there we are. You can treat them a bit tougher after they've established, and that's what it's going to look like in a couple of weeks. And it isn't very difficult, but I'm afraid we do have problems. Most people do have problems with them. But once they get away, this plant should produce between 40 and 50 small cucumbers. You wouldn't know what to do with them. And that's cucumbers. Going to just finish off today with a pepper. Very easy to grow. The only problem I ever think of with peppers is possibly green fly. So you've got to keep an eye on that and rub out the... This is a chili pepper, not my favourite. It's one called Loco. Nice root system. Just always handle them very gently at this stage. A little bit of firming, and give it a good water afterwards. So otherwise I can't think of anything. You're going to have to start feeding these tomatoes. They normally start feeding when the first truss are set. Cucumbers you can start feeding it within 2 or 3 weeks, and the pepper again when the first fruit starts to set. And use Tomarite in all 3 cases, frankly. So it's all very easy, but have a go.